And well, boy, we've got already 9 people on and we barely started. That's great. Um, ooh, Mary, flooding? That's too bad. We don't want flooding. Oh, you're welcome. I don't mind doing it. It's the only thing is I'm not used to doing a lot of lives, so we're gonna have to play this by ear a little bit, but that's all right. I did start out. I set my alarm so I'd make sure I was up in time because every once in a while I oversleep. But usually I'm up by 6 my time, which would be, let's see, 7 Randee's time, 8 East Coast, and 5 o'clock in the morning on the coast. But we do have a few things we need to talk about. The biggest one is next Monday is Christmas Day. Do we want to do a live on Christmas Day? Because if we do, I will, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, because my biggest concern with that is my family opens Christmas presents on Christmas morning, and my daughter is a CNA at the hospital, and she works the graveyard shift, so she doesn't get off work till 7. And so she would probably be getting home just about the time that we would start the live. So that's, I mean, we could still do it. It would just be that everybody's going to be home, the door's going to be opening. There's, other things that will be going on around us. So, okay, I'm seeing a lot of no's. So next Monday we will not be doing the live. So that's fine. Though if you wanted one, I could do it later in the day rather than early morning like this, maybe around noon or something, before people start eating their dinner, but after most folks have already opened their gifts. So something to think about. We'll address it more on Friday, so we'll see if everybody agrees, but it looks like everybody says don't bother because most people will be with family, and that is what I suspected. But at the same time, there are those people that don't have any family and don't have anywhere to go, and if that's the case, if any of you have that problem, then let us know and we'll do one sometime during the day. It won't be early morning probably, but maybe later in the morning or early afternoon. So, because I really do not like it when people are alone for the holidays. Let's face it, that is one of the times when the most people commit suicide. So, so I don't like people to be alone on Christmas. So if any of you are, and that is a possibility, then let me know and we'll do something. But right now, I guess we're going to make some earrings. So I'm going to make some lollipop earrings. They're going to be pretty similar to Randee's, but just a teeny touch different. I don't like to be doing exactly the same thing, so I do tend to veer off course, so to speak. So let's turn down and we'll make these earrings, and then maybe we'll see if we want to make anything else if we have time. And So, yeah, we'll see if we have time to make anything else. If we do, then we'll get something out. And well, actually, I have some more earrings designed besides these, but this is my bag of bargain bead box and soft flex that aren't finished. Cloudburst is pretty much finished, but all of these chrysanthemum I haven't even touched. So we may decide to grab one of these bags later and see what we can come up with, but right now, or we'll do that some other day. So, so let's turn down and we'll get working on our lollipop earrings. Oh, I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one. Okay, let's get us flipped. Come on, flip. There we go. Now we're gonna pull. Oops, pulled up too much. That's pretty good. Okay, so here's our lollipops. I think they're really cute. And also out of the box, I got a couple of the big peridot bicones. Now, this is a big size, and these are expensive. I know that because I always used to buy them myself. So, and then I got from my personal stash these red beads, which match the red in here pretty good. We have a couple of the crystal spacers. And we're gonna put this on here, the crystal spacer between the green and the red. Then we're gonna hook it to this wonderful post. Isn't this pretty? I got this from Bargain Beadbox's sister company, Beadbox Bargains. I do some of the posts, if they're pretty like this, I like a post. And I've been using a lot of posts lately. Now you can see these are going to be a pretty long dangle. Then off the side here, I'm also going to dangle one of these little briolets, like so. So I'm going to do the trick I do a lot. If any of you are used to watching me, you'll know what I'm going to do here. And that's I'm going to take these old head pins that I don't use anymore, because I always use ball heads anymore. I like that extra little oomph of the little ball on the end. I'm going to take and I'm going to cut the heads off of these. Here. There they all go. Say bye-bye, heads. And now they've become 3-inch pieces of wire. So okay, I'm just checking the comments in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing. Okay, we got lots of fun people with this. So I guess most folks are talking to Randee. Hi, Randee. Good to see you here. So now I'm going to straighten these out some because they're a little bit wonky. Like I said, they've been in a box, in a little plastic box for a while, and they're not all in the best shape ever. Now I can tell that these are 2 different diameters because I can just feel it with your fingers. Can you guys do that when you play with wire? Can you feel that you got a different diameter of wire with you? These 2 are the same, and I think these smaller. No, this one may be the same as this one, but that's all right. I'm going to take the smallest ones and do the briolet with those. Now, I'm not real great at wrapping the briolets because, well, let's face it, I don't like a messy wrap. I'm real picky that way. And when it comes right down to it, a lot of the briolette pieces are more or less a messy wrap, but I mean, they're not really, but they could be easily called that. So I'm going to take one of my wires here. That's good. And then I'm going to grab my, I do my 90-degree, then I grab my bell making pliers, my stepped ones. I like to use these because I know my size of my loop is going to be the same unless I bungle it somehow. Now I didn't leave myself a gap, and since I want to hook this straight to my lollipop, I need a gap, so I just spread it a little bit there. Then we're going to pull it, put our right here, bring her over, grab our other pliers, and oh, they're moving a little better than they usually do. I don't know why. We're going to wrap 2 or 3 times. Now you could use a simple loop. You don't have to use a wrap loop. I just usually use a wrap loop because I like the security of a wrap loop. Of course, on the other hand, there is one advantage to using a simple instead of a wrapped, and that is if you bungle something, you can always open it if you do a simple loop, whereas I can't open this. It's well closed. So if you do a wrapped loop, even though, like I say, it's more secure, you got to remember it's also permanently there unless you cut it loose. So we have our beads here. Isn't that pretty? And it matches so well with our lollipop. Now becomes the decision of whether I'm going to wrap this on here or if I'm going to jump ring it. Well, I'm going to jump ring it. And the reason I'm going to jump ring it is when I put this briolette on, it needs to have some place to hang. And that's going to be from that jump ring. So it's going to have a jump ring no matter what I do. So we might as well do our jump ring right here. So because we have the hole is going this direction in our post, we'll want our wrap to go around this way rather than this way. So we'll turn this, bend her over. Again, we're going to grab our stepped bell making pliers and put those in there and make our loop. Now this time we don't have to worry about a gap because we're just going to wrap it because this baby is just going to be on a jump ring. So we'll just move this over. I almost couldn't find my pliers there. Knew they couldn't be far though because, well, if you guys were to see my desk, my tool rack is over on my right side. The base for our tripod is over on the left side, and then beside the base for the tripod is stacks of chain. So here is this portion. It's not quite tucked. I can see it there. So let's see if we can get it in a little bit better. Okay. There we go. So then this will jump ring right onto here. But I'm not going to do that yet because I have to have the briolette wrapped because it has to jump ring there as well. Oh, glad to hear that you like my earrings, Annalise. The ones I'm wearing or the ones we're making? That's funny, Deborah, that she stole your cake eraser. Oh, I'm glad you liked the necklace, Maritza. I'll try that, Randy. I kept telling myself I need to put a little oil of something like that. And in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm checking out everybody's comments to see if there's anything I need to address. But it sounds like we're talking about a storm. Oh, thank you, Dorothy. Okie dokie. I think I'm back to the end of my comments. Like Randy said, it's sort of hard to the other day, it's sort of hard to watch the comments because because they scroll by really fast when you guys get talking. It's like, and when I'm doing something else, it's like, oh, what are we doing here? So let's get going on this second earring, and I think I didn't bend as much wire, but that's all right because I cut some of the rest off, and I may just be able to just pull this to where I want it. I hear one of my kitties. And I was going to say, oh, there goes Rory with one of his morning discussions. But actually, that one is Sam I'm hearing. So she has this thing where she gets one of her toys and then she starts screaming until somebody answers her. And I just wrapped that without putting on the lollipop. Naughty me. That's all right. I will do it the opposite way. We'll do the red spacer and green one. There's always ways to fix things if you just give it a little bit of thought when you mess something up a bit. So sometimes that way of fixing things is to tear it apart, but if you can do it without tearing apart, by all means, think up a way. Though I gotta say, the times when it's sort of heartbreaking when you accidentally do that is when you're doing a wrapped loop rosary chain. I did that. I've done that before, and it's like you look at it and go, "Ah, for Pete's sake! Now I gotta do that one." But in this instance, it was simply switch the side I'm working on, and this is a little crooked, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to hold it the way I pull it just a teeny bit. There we go. So now we're right at that spot where we were with the other one, and it's time to work on those nasty briolettes. Oh, morning, Bonnie. Welcome in. Thanks, Mary. My wrap loops are great because if they aren't, I'll cut them apart. I don't like messes. So, oh, is Mr. Bunsen with you? That's good, Randy. That's good. I'm sort of jealous of you with your kitty cats, especially since you're not weren't used to having cats before you got Bunsen. Because even though I have 4 cats, Mr. Rorschach doesn't like us even near him, let alone touching him or picking him up. Um, Sammy doesn't mind being picked up, but she won't stand it for very long. Same with Finnegan. And Winter will only let my husband hold her. She wants him to hold her, but if I pick her up and she instantly starts freaking out. It's like, I've got a lady touching me. So it's sort of funny, but at the same time, not so funny. I started my live right at 8 o'clock my time, which would be 9 o'clock Randy's time. So I don't know where you're at, Donna, so I'm not sure how off I made you. So okay, so now this is going to be our little difficult one here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bend it like we normally would. And then I'm going to slip the briolet on, or briolet, however you pronounce that word. They always seem to be a little bit crooked. Have you ever noticed that when you're sliding on your beads, that a briolet hole always seems to be slightly crooked? Drives me nuts. But that's my OCD. So up we go. We're just going to bend it to go up to join the other one. Now, sometimes I try this with my pliers because we want that hard bend, but other times I don't because now see how I've got it too tight? The briolet won't move. But we're not too bad. I don't really want it to move that much, so that's fine. Now I'm going to bring them together, especially since when I bring them together, that definitely isn't going to move. Is we're going to come up and into that point. Now, I want where they're coming together here, I want this one, this big one to go up, and I want the smaller one to go more over. It's now going to be where we're going to wrap it. And we're going to have to move the briolet out of the way some to hold this. And we're going to wrap this up. And I'm going to only wrap it twice because I'm going to come back down here with the other wire. Tuck this in. And I'm probably crooked because usually you do get crooked when you're doing these. And see how it's going uphill here? So I'm going to hold this while I push this back up. And then I'm going to bend it again. And it doesn't matter which way you bend it this time because you're going to have it on that jump ring and it's, let's face it, it's a bead that's however it sits. So up and over and around here. And we're kind of coming around, bring her over. Then we're going to hold her and wrap down to where this other one is, which makes for a pretty long wrap. And if you want to, this is where you would go back down some more and go over the top of the briolet. You know, we've got enough wire. Maybe we should go ahead and see if we can do that. So I'm just going to do a crisscross right here across the top. Since we've already met the other side. Oop, we're trying to bend here. So let's grab her down lower now. See what we can do here. Not sure it wants to do anything here. It's being very uncooperative. Okay, so since we're being uncooperative, we're going to take this back off. Oh, actually, I sort of like that spin across the other wires. So maybe I will leave it right here. And then we'll cut it off and tuck it right here at the base. Since it wants to be difficult. Okay, so this briolette's not going to move that much, but that's the way it goes. We're not going to worry about it because we'll break it if we play with it too much. So now I'm going to hook everything together here as far as this one is concerned. Then I'm going to have to try and make my one like this similar to that one. I'm not going to try, it's not going to be perfect. So ooh, we've got lots of conversations going on here. Let's see what we got. Yes, I do have a winter too. Though unlike Randy's winter, my winter is pure black, except for where she has a little white spot between her back legs, which sort of looks like a bikini bottom. But it's only on one side and on her belly side, so. Do you? Well, see, I always use oval jump rings, and they don't always like to go through. If I used a round one, it might work. I will have to try that, Annalise. I thought everybody had stepped bell making pliers. If you don't, I suggest you get some because they really are handy to have. I use these all for making my loops. Generally this one, but sometimes this one because it makes a bigger loop, of course. And so when you need a bigger loop for like going over um, a ring or something like that, the bigger ones are always handy, and you can just find the one that works best when you're doing one. So that's always helpful. When we got my winter, we got her for my grandson because he just lost his dog. And then so grandpa told him he could have a cat. So we got winter for him, and then she liked Steve better than Jay, which was just sort of depressing for him, poor kid. But she does like him too. He's probably her second favorite person after my husband, but she's definitely Steve's. There's no doubt about that. Because she just is. She sits with him if he's up. And sort of like it's funny because I believe that Randy's winter is more Jeff's than hers. So I know she understands what I mean by this. So when he's around, she couldn't care less about the rest of the world. Well, unless Jay's around. Like I said, Jay is her second favorite person, and if he's around, then she will cry until he pets her, but, he doesn't pick her up much. She's not like I say, the husband is the only one that's allowed to pick her up as far as she's concerned, so it's pretty, funny. And even though Winter won't let anybody else pick her up, she wants my husband to pick her up all the time. She'll stand below him and cry until he picks her up. So that's sort of funny. But actually, she drives him nuts because she cries when he doesn't want her to. But that's the way it goes. Oop, I don't think I've got this one as long as I had the other one. In fact, I know I don't. So I'm going to carefully back this wire back around because I want it to be just a little bit longer than I have it here. And it's going to be all wonky, so I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and I'm going to get in and I'm going to straighten up some of these spots. Not that a lot of them will make a lot of difference because they're going to go into the wrap when I get going with it, but we do want it relatively straight when we start here. It's because I want this to be a little close. I would have left it if it was the first one, but since it's the second one and this one is quite a bit longer than how I had that one, I want this one to match that one as much as possible. So we want to get a slightly bigger wrap than I had going. So up and around and over. As you can see, that kink is trying to come in back into there right there. And so we don't want that to do that. And that didn't come all the way around. So now it's probably got, it looks like it might be a little longer than it was before. But oh well. It's not going to be so close that people are going to be able to really tell. No, stop it. Now's when I've got that little wrap that goes down to the bottom here. So we want that in place, but we don't want it to be giving us a lot of problems. So now I got to cut this little bit of wire off. It's still here at the end. And tuck this up here. Come on, baby, tuck. I may have cut a little bit too much, but we'll see. That up, around, push her into place. Come on, baby, into place. A little bit more. Just a touch more. There we go. So there's our two little briolets. So now we need a couple of jump rings. Oops, that's a lot more than a couple, but open one of these. Now we're going to go on the lollipop, on one of the briolets, and then onto one of the posts. close her up. Okie dokie. And there is number 1. Now, if you wanted the briolette to hang a little more loose, you could put another jump ring in there, and it would do so. But there's the first one. Now, when I put this one together, I'm going to put it together so the briolette's on this side, so that it's hanging opposite to this one. I like that when you wear them that way, they're not going the opposite direction in your ear. That way, this one will be hanging to the outside, that one will be hanging to the outside, or let's face it, they might both be they might be hanging to the inside. Depends on how you're wearing them. So, and there's our second one finished. So there's our lollipop earrings all done. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Annalise. Do I have a special? No. What I do is I have a hole punch, and I take a business card and I punch it. Let's see the punch. It looks like the punch looks like this. And I punch business cards that I've had specifically turned on their side. And then, as you can see, it has double holes. So then so actually it's so you can put 2 pair of earrings on here, like if you wanted a little tiny post and a regular. But I got these kind because they're the only ones, because I use the lever backs. It's the only ones they'll go on, because earring cards, because the regular earring cards, a lot of them just have the hole instead of the loopy round here. And you have to have the loop around because otherwise the latch back won't go on. So then I just put these on here, like so. And on my earring rack, I just hook it to the top here on my earring rack. So like that on the card. Looks like the storm has went up to Cynthia. Oh, how I display is I have a big rack that I built that has some bars across it, and I take a binder clip and go from the bar to the earring rack so it holds it up. So that's how I display them. I'm so glad you guys think they're cute. Like I said, they're a little like Randee's, just not exactly. And I've matched my beads to my lollipop. No, Annalise, I don't do anything different. This is the card I use for all my earrings. If it's little, it goes on there. If it's big, it goes on there. Sounds like the East Coast is getting smacked with something all the way up the side. So I'm not frozen, in case you're wondering, guys. I'm just going back and looking at comments that I missed. They're hard to watch them when you are making something. How time is it? How much time do we have? Ooh, almost 20 minutes. Not sure I can get the second pair of earrings that I was debating made or not in 20 minutes. All right, where did you go? You're supposed to be on that side. Oh, well, doesn't matter. So they will just hang just like that when we put them together. The other pair of earrings I was thinking of making, use the items we bought in our secondary sale when we were buying stuff from out of Randee's kits. And what I was thinking of doing with these, and I think it would be too long not enough time to make them. But these are the rings, of course, that were there. And then the Be Happies. And I was thinking of hanging these down from the bottom here. No, it would make them too lopsided. And then I have the bead mix that I made for doing all of the various things I've made. I use these with the skull, eyeball, and I used them when I made my Be Happy tassels. So what I was thinking of doing with these is I'm going to wire wrap them all around the outside. Then I'm going to take some chain and hook it from here to here. And I was thinking of using silver, but the more I think about it, the more I think that gold would be better. It would give me some contrast, as well as the Happy is gold based. So just loop a little bit of chain from here, and then maybe a second over to here to put some difference in the middle. I'm not sure we have time to do that today. We could probably start it, or maybe get one done, and then do, no, we'll do these tomorrow, or maybe not. We'll see. But we'll just talk for a little while. Another design I have started is from our Christmas mix from Randee again. And this one is our snowflakes. Come on, little guys. Now, even though I had two different ones, I also had in my own stash another one of these little style. So I'm thinking, and I'm not going to make these yet. I'll wait till something comes in the mail. I have some posts coming from Beadbox Bargains that are little snowflakes. So some posts, and oh yes, copper would look good as the chain, and I do have some, but it's antique copper, not bright copper. See, here's the copper. Oh, I like that. We may do that. You never can tell. So I have all kinds of chain. Like I said, it's sitting here beside me. But so so what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put that snowflake post on the top when it comes. And then I think I'm going to box. Okay, tools, get out of the way. Back in your slots where you belong. Get some of the crystal bicones, that the AB ones, and we're gonna put between these snowflakes. And then we're going to make a dangle with these, as well as some other color. I have to decide what else I'm going to put with them. But there will be a dangle on either side here, as well as our snowflake. Not a long dangle. Well, maybe a little longer than that. I want it to be not hitting the snowflake, but not bumping into this crystal either. So we have to, so I'll have to put a few more crystals in there. I actually want blue, but I don't think we have any. But I do, I'm sure, somewhere. And then debate if I'm going to put a crystal up here between the snowflake and the snowflake post. I might, because I like a long dangle, so that won't bother me. But that's another one of the earrings we're going to make this week. Well, maybe not this week. It'll depend on when my order from B-Box Bargains comes. But I think it will be a really pretty earring for winter time. And that's why I'm going to go with some blue as well as the white for these earrings. But I would do these, but the wire wrapping I think is going to take us more than like 15 minutes. So we'll work on those tomorrow. They'll be a really simple pair of earrings, but it will take a little bit of time because we're going to wire wrap all of the beads around the I just will put these clear ones in here too so I don't use them on something else accidentally. I tend to put my stuff in individual baggies when I have designed something so that I know what I need to use for it, and then I don't lose it or get it put somewhere else. So that's 2 more pair of earrings that I plan on making this week. And I also have another pair that I'm using the Softflex kit, the gingerbread Softflex kit. I bought an extra kit of the mixes because I wanted that little stainless steel gingerbread man that is in that's in the mix, and they only had 1, and I needed 2 if I was going to make earrings with them. And I am going to make some of my hoops with those, with the little gingerbread man hanging in the center with a loop of some color of little crystals, and then a second hammered hoop just to give it some other emphasis. So yeah, we're getting close. I think we have just a couple minutes left, so let me go over the comments again and see if there's anything I need to address. Now let's flip up to do that. People ready? We're going over. Okay, so let's check out the comments, see if I need to address anything. Will I be patinaing the snowflakes? I don't think so. I think the silver is going to go really good with the with some clear, the whitish beads with some more blue beads. I think the crystal will be good. And frankly, as far as patinaing the stainless one, stainless does not take a patina very well. It doesn't care for it. It will come right off just about. Alcohol ink probably would go on it all right, but the stainless doesn't. The patina doesn't really do so. Let's see, what else do we need to Yeah, that's true. I have an actual desk, and then I have got a shelf in the back of it because I got all kinds of stuff jammed in that shelf. When I flip, I'm sure you see some of it because the little bottles of little tiny beads and stuff are back there. And, and on the bottom shelf, there's all my jump rings and things that I use all the time. They're right there, so I can get to them easily. Um, where my new tripod base is used to be where all my chain was, and I still have it there, but it's jammed to the outside of my desk now instead of tucked in further. So yeah, and like I say, my tools are on the right side of me, the tripod base and my chain, and I have a few of those little circular things that Randee has that I have all kinds of odds and ends old findings in that I hardly ever use, but they're over to that side, as in my India glass. So, um, yeah, I don't have much extra room, that's for sure. Um, you could try alcohol ink on the Mary. For the stainless steel. I'm not sure if it will work. I haven't tried it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did work fine, because I have a friend who makes metal art. I have some of her turtles. They're beautiful, but she colors them with alcohol ink, and they're made out of stainless steel, out of steel. So I'm not sure it's stainless steel because she never shines it. It's not real shiny still, but she does alcohol ink that stain. I haven't tried it. I'm not saying it will work. I haven't tried to use it because I have tried patina paints and even my paint pins on and it rubs right off. Because of the shine and the gloss of the stainless steel, how it's polished up, the paints rub right off. You touch them and they just go, they're gone. So, but I haven't tried using alcohol ink on any of my stainless charms. Um, I'm not sure I have any that I would want to, because like I say, those snowflakes, I just want them straight the way they are because I'm going to let them stand out just as the stainless steel. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I have that I could give it a try on, and I'll have to look around and see. But one way to make ink stick that doesn't want to is take some sandpaper and rough it up. I, but you know, that's a preference whether you want to rough up your stainless like that. But Rose, you're going to start rehab? Can you alcohol ink chain? Yes, you can alcohol ink chain. You do have to realize it's going to use, you'll probably want to use silver chain. I'm not saying sterling silver. I'm just saying a silver chain so that you can see, because with the silver chain, it will obviously change the color better to the color that whatever you're inking with is. So that does work. You can do it. Randy's done it with patina paints. I don't know if you saw that one when she did it with patina. Well, was it patina paints, Randy? I can't recall. It might have been alcohol ink. So But yes, definitely you can use alcohol ink on it. Actually, I think it was alcohol ink that Randy used, because she she was doing it when she was working on. Do you remember when Randy was working on the big sun, the big metal sun that she had, that she was going to make it, that she made into the sun catcher? That, I'm pretty sure, was alcohol ink when she did that. I always use Krylon on top of my anything that I paint. They say you don't have to, and you probably don't, but I do anyway, just to be on the safe side. But no, it's not going to help. It I don't think so. Not with the stainless steel. When I don't know what they polish it with, because they're so shiny that it's not straight after it's cut. It's been polished to a degree, and I don't know what they polish it with, but it keeps it from anything from sticking to it. Well, the Krylon would probably stick to it, but that doesn't do you any good, because paint's going to come off before you even get it to that point. Because unless you paint it exactly where you're going to spray your Krylon out, and to me that doesn't work. I paint on my desk and take it out to my garage to do my spraying, so that I don't have to worry about the spray in the house. But you have to move it, and in moving it, you're going to lose your paint, unfortunately. So, unfortunately. Goodbye, Donna. It was nice having you here. But yeah, that is one thing you have to think about. You can, like I say, you can do chain. I would always use alcohol ink on chain. You could use patina paint, but the thing is that when you use patina paint, it's a regular paint, and it's going to fill up the holes, and it's going to try and keep your chain from moving. You're going to have to keep wiggling it as you work with it. Otherwise, it's going to lock your chain in place. It's not going to move, and you don't want that. And then if you do get it to move later after it's all dry, you're going to leave spots. So better to use alcohol ink if you're doing chain. So that would be my advice anyway. Let's see, anything else we need to discuss here before we go? As Annalise says, though, with your stainless steel, if you do want to paint it, you need to take some sandpaper or something and buff it up. You need to take off that shiny layer, and and then of course it's not going to be as bright because the shiny layer is gone. So there's 6 of one, half dozen other issues there. You can get the paint to stick if you sand off the top of your stainless steel, but you're going to lose that real shiny stainless steel coating there. So that's no fun. But that's the way it goes. There are very have that, there are compromises. It's like I said, if you want to do something, you might have to compromise on something to get it to work, but you can usually get it to work if you work on it really hard. But we've just hit our hour, so I think we're going to go. Tomorrow we might work on the Be Happy earrings, unless I figure out something else I want to work on. But in the meantime, have a lovely day. I'm going to go finish my Christmas shopping. How's everybody done on your Christmas shopping? Are you good with it? Are you ready to go? So, I have one item to buy, just one. So I'm gonna go see if they still have it, and if not, yeah, I've got enough. I don't have to have it. And then I have to go deliver a custom order that I made in the last few weeks for a friend. You folks won't have seen it because I didn't do any of it on camera, but here is my custom order I made for a friend. So I have to go deliver that today. And oh, you guys are all welcome. I enjoyed it. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Well, I hope to see you all tomorrow. If we don't, well, then we don't. If you can't make it, I understand. I'm sorry that you won't be with us as you're traveling, Randee. Obviously, you can't since you'll be traveling. But we will see you hopefully when you get to grandma's. Maybe you'll stop in and see us because hey, we got 3 weeks before you'll be back. So we'll see you later. Anyway, everyone, have a lovely time tonight. Have a good day, and I will see you all tomorrow if you show up. Bye-bye.